Here we go. Let's do this. So, welcome to my movie review of... I really don't like starting reviews off. I'm sick of saying that. Fucking... Anyway. Welcome to my movie review of the fucking horror classic that is Scream, which I have on Blu-ray and DVD. This used to be my mother's DVD, but I watched it 11 years ago, stole it on her. Then I got this on Blu-ray for Christmas, but I'm keeping both because I'm fucking grey. Right? Fuck off. Anyway, so made in the year 1996, directed by Wes Craven, starring Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, fucking David Arquette, Rose McGowan, fucking Drew Barrymore, Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, fucking Jamie Kennedy, Roger L. Jackson. Fuck me. Henry Winkler has a cameo. Wes Craven has a cameo. Fucking hell. What a fucking cast, actually, when you think about it. Damn. What a cast for this movie. Holy shit. Yeah. Damn. So yeah, Scream is basically... The plot of Scream is... And y'all know the plot, but I'm going to say it anyway. Y'all know the plot. So, this woman by the name of Casey Becker, played by Drew Barrymore, is having a chill movie night at home, making popcorn till she gets an anonymous phone call. It's a bit weird. The guy keeps ringing back. They're talking back and forth, flirting. Start talking about horror films like Halloween and A Nightmare on Elm Street, which Wes Craven also directed. But the call ends up taking a sinister turn where she threatens to kill her. Finds out that the killer is actually near the house. You find out that her boyfriend's outside. Then there's this whole horror trivia question. She keeps ringing back. Gets the questions wrong. The boyfriend dies. Gets killed, and then she gets chased, murdered, hung from a tree. Her parents find her. The house nearly burns down, and then we get our title. He murders her by stabbing her, and then she gets hung from a tree. Then we get our title card, Scream. So then we cut to the actual lead of the movie, which is Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. And she's at home, just doing things, and her boyfriend Billy Loomis wants to have sex, but she's not ready for it. She's been very distant, and we find out that later on we find out that her mother dies, because we find that out later on that this hasn't been this many cops in Woodsboro since. And that's where the movie takes place, Woodsboro. So the father comes in, whatever. Billy climbs out the window. They go in the next day, find out that everyone's dead. We get introduced to Tatum, who is played by Rose McGowan, and we get introduced to Randy, who's played by Jamie Kennedy, and is the best character in the movie. That's a hard one. And then we get the iconic Stu Macher, who is still alive, by the way. Just saying. Stu Macher, played by Matthew Lillard. See Billy again, and we get introduced to Courtney Cox's character, Gail Weathers, who was a news reporter, and we get introduced to David Arquette's character, Special Officer Goofy. Sorry, no, I couldn't resist. That's a scary movie. Special Officer Dewey, who's not the he's not the main cop, if you know what I mean. He's not the police captain. Sheriff. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word for some reason. So we find out about the murder. Sidney gets questioned and all that stuff, and people are freaked out by it. So different things happen. Like Sidney pretty much has, goes home. Everyone goes home. She's about to have a sleepover with Tatum. The father's gone away for the weekend, and pretty much, we heard that earlier on. She ends up getting attacked by Ghostface and getting a call from Ghostface, and then Billy ends up at the house coincidentally and drops a phone, gets arrested, and people start blaming him. So people are freaked out by it. Gale Weathers is like bringing up horrible shit about, like her mother's death, and then she ends up punching Gale in the face. She stays at fucking whatchamacallit, Dewey's house, and gets another phone call. Horrible things about the mother are said, and then you also have fucking people playing prankster in school, talking shit in the toilets. Billy's released and always innocent and all that. Fucking killer. Anyway, and she's she's very suspicious at first. School gets closed down, so they're all about to have a party later on that night. The principal gets killed, played by Henry Winkler. Different things happen, like they're getting ready for the party, they're talking, whatever. You have Randy and Stu in the video store. Oh man, honestly, I wish they were more common. And then Billy going around and people are kind of freaked out by him in the store and all this. And then you go back to Dewey and the sheriff doing all these different things, and then Dewey and Courtney Cox Gale, they're starting to flirt, and then obviously they kind of start building up a relationship. The party happens at Stu Mocker's house, and that's really where all hell breaks loose. Bunch of people go there, and Gale and plants a few cameras there, and her cameraman Kenny, who follows her around. And fucking Dewey ends up going with her, and then they end up kind of walking off and falling in love, and then we find out that the principal died, and well, we already know that, but everyone leaves the house, and many different things happen at the party. Tatum ends up going downstairs and gets killed by Ghostface through the fucking garage thing. Billy and Sydney have sex. Billy ends up getting killed, attacked, whatever. Randy gets drunk, Ghostface goes in the house, they drive off, Ghostface tries to attack Sydney, they kill Kenny. That actually was not meant to be intentional, but coincidentally they kill Kenny, the bastards! Anyway, so that happens, they kill Kenny, and they Courtney Cox drives off and she crashes, and then Dewey gets stabbed in the back. Yeah, not like in the fifth one where he actually dies. And then Randy and Stu are kind of there, and like Sydney doesn't know who to trust. Goes in, Billy's alive. Randy gets in the house. Then it's revealed that Billy and Stu are the killers. They killed the mother. Sydney's mother. Although technically that was Roman who sent them. But anyway, they killed Sydney's mother, and Courtney Cox is alive, and Randy is alive, and essentially we heard all the motives, and then they try to kill Sydney, and eventually Sydney crushes fucking Stu with a TV, and he gets electrocuted. He's assumed dead, and then they shoot Billy multiple times in the head. They save the day, movie ends, to get injured, and get a shot that pans out of the house, which is also a shot that's recreated in the fifth one. A lot of them, they recreate them. So, that's the movie in a nutshell. Hold the DVD up for a while. So what do I think of Scream? This movie is a fucking classic. I love this movie. This movie done something amazing with the horror genre. It recreated a fucking dying subgenre in horror, which was slasher films, and it ended up being a satire of horror movie cliches, and the movie done it perfectly. And honestly, Scream is one of the few horror franchises where I actually love every single movie in them. I have seen this movie so many goddamn times. And I remember when I first watched this back in 2012. I was only 11 going on 12, and I actually think I reviewed it directly after I watched it back then. And I remember, because I was a big fan of horror, that I loved this. This was almost like an event, a celebration of all different horror films, because it was meta. It created the whole meta thing and inspired so many other fucking horror films. It inspired Bride of Chucky, The Faculty. Yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer, even though that was written by the same people that wrote Scream. It inspired, fucking... it has the vibe of the Final Destination movies, but it's like... Well, they're very different type films, but this movie, it done so much. It reinvented the slasher genre. It's just a great celebration, and it's so meta, and it's not the first meta thing ever, but it's one of the first things, and it's fucking amazing. So where do I begin? Like, I'm gonna talk about the opening scene. The opening scene alone is just fantastic, right? I think it's about 10 minutes maybe max, but it is such an iconic opening. It's one of the most iconic openings to any horror film, and has one of the most iconic lines in any movie ever. What's your favorite scary movie? Now, it is also, I think, a reference to the whole opening scene. I think is a reference to When a Stranger Calls and Black Christmas, possibly. With the whole, have you checked the children phone call scene. But let's just get into it. So, opening scene, instantly, you get the fucking Dimension Films logo, and you hear the iconic phone ringing. Brilliant shot of the phone. Casey Becker, played by Drew Barrymore, who was brilliant in it, and was a big actress to get in it, and they killed the most well-known actress off at the start. And she's like, hello? And he's like, hello, how are you? It's like, who is this? It's like, you tell me your name, I'll tell you mine. It's like, I don't think so. And walking around. And first of all, I want to say, the locations in this movie that Wes Craven scouted are fucking incredible. One second. The scouting locations, that's what I meant, right? So, the scouting locations that he done, like, fucking amazing. Woodsboro as a town, like, in this movie, it just looks amazing. And in the fucking, as I said, the house is so fucking nice. I know it's a weird thing to say, but it's like, the house at the start of this film is so nice, and the way that he moves the camera and the way it was shot and all that, it's just really well done, and it's visually nice to look at. Like, you have all the things there. You get the nice fucking bookcases in the kitchen, floor, and nice fucking. Why when I start recording, bro? Why? Nice fucking little small fucking TV with a VHS, old style TV. Just very nostalgic type feeling. The 90s, you know what I mean? The fucking 90s. So, I love that part of it. Be back in a second, hold on. Anyway, so, finally getting back into this. So basically, you have that great moment, right? They're just talking, you tell me your name, I tell you mine. It's like, no. And she's just walking around the house, and the camera's just following her around the kitchen, the thing. And she's like, oh, what's that noise? And then she goes over and she's just there, oh, I'm making popcorn. It's like, really? Why? Oh, really? Why? And I like how Roger L. Jackson doesn't do the Ghostface voice straight away, and he actually does do that in the new film, or the film that came out last year as well. So I like that whole aspect. She's like, oh, I'm getting ready to watch a video. What movie? Oh, just a scary movie. Oh, really? It's like, yeah. And she's, but just before that part, actually, sorry, as they're talking, they're like, yeah, so that's great. It's like, yeah, oh, sorry, I must have run. It's like, hi. He's like, hi, do I know you? It's like, is this such and such? She's like, oh no. It's like, oh, this I must have got the wrong number. It's like, yeah, I did. Sorry. And then she's like, hello. It's like, oh, hello. It's like, what's up? It's like, oh, it's me again. Must have got the wrong number. It's like, then why'd you dial it again? It's like, I don't know. It's like, I was like, okay. And then gets on. It's like, hi. It's like, you again. It's like, okay. It's like, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm hanging up now. No, no, no. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. What are you doing? It's like, I'm just walking around, like, and all that. And he's like, okay, really? It's like, yeah, that's great. And then you get a great shot of the popcorn and stuff, like, being made on the thing. It's like, what's that noise? And it kind of cuts back and forth and stuff. And she's like, oh, I'm making popcorn. And he's like, oh, really? Why? It's like, oh, I'm just getting ready to watch a video and all that. It's like, oh, really? What type of movie? Oh, just a scary movie. Which this was originally meant to be called Scary Movie. Which is kind of funny, because that's what the parody now is called. It's like, and she's like, yeah. It's like, do you like scary movies? And she's like, yeah. It's like, sometimes, yeah, whatever. Not really. I don't know. I think she says, yeah, not really. It's like, he goes, yeah. She's like, what's your favorite scary movie? And she goes over, and she just goes, Halloween, you know. And it's like, fuck yeah, good taste, Casey. And by the way, Drew Barrymore is beautiful in this. She's fucking still beautiful. Honestly, she is gorgeous. And she's like, Halloween. It's like, oh yeah, is that the guy with the, in the, you know, the big white mask and the big butcher knife and all that? It's like, Michael Myers pulls out the knife. That's the one, yeah. What, any other films, horror movies you like? It's like, what's the one with the guy, the razor blade fingernails? Like, oh, that's Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like, yeah. Oh, I also like Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like, oh yeah. It's like, what was the guy's name? That big guy with the big razor finger hands? Like, Freddy Krueger. Yeah, that was a great one. He's like, oh yeah, well that one was great. The rest sucked. Walking through, the first one's the scariest. And she's just doing different things around the house, putting the VHSs down. You're like, yeah. And she's just walking around like, yeah, that's great. First is always the best. And then it's just all this great tension and build up, and she's just doing things, and it's kind of cutting back to the popcorn that's going up and all that. And you know, it's just a fucking amazing part. And even before that, actually, like, there is a scene where she's like, hi, she's like, yeah, whatever, and she's like, no, don't hang up. And I was like, oh look, I want to talk to you. He's like, there's a million other call lines for that and all that. And there's even another part where she's like, so do you have a boyfriend? She's like, no, why? It's like, oh, you don't have a boyfriend, okay. And it's like almost like flirtatious. Like, you always get this vibe that she's actually secretly enjoying it. And then she's like, so what's your name? She's like, why do you want to know my name? And then this moment is amazing. It's Roger L. Jackson sells this moment so well. It's so fucking sinister. It's so fucking evil and slimy. Sorry. And she's like, why do you want to know my name? And he goes, because I want to know who I'm looking at. And she just kind of turns, and brilliant fucking movement with the camera, zoom in, music, the tension, the fucking acting by both people is great. She's like, why'd you say that? It's like, I want to know who I'm looking at. It's like, no, that's not what you said. Oh, it's like, I want to know what's happening. It's like, no, that's not what you said. You want to know who I'm looking at? It's like, wait, don't hang up. It's like, what? I swear to God, don't you fucking hang up or I'll kill you. It's like, or got you alive. It's like, don't, I'm hanging up. And it's like, don't. No, that. And it's hanging up or whatever. It's like, no. It hangs up again. It's like, what do you want? It's like, I'll fucking kill you. I swear to God. It's like, alright, whatever. Just don't hang up. It's like, don't you fucking hang up and all that. And she stops and hangs up the phone. And then phone rings again. She goes, listen, asshole. It's like, no, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, swear to God. And she's like, just what do you want? Please leave me alone. It's like, I want to know what your insides fucking look like. It's like, oh God, and all that. She's like, it's like, oh no, please don't hurt me. Please. Like, no, I'm gonna get you. He's like, listen, I don't want to do this. And then she's just walking around going, ugh. And she grabs a knife, and then she's like hanging up again, and the phone's ringing, and it's like, and she goes, ah, and you feel the fear and the fucking suspense. which is like for satire, horror film is built up so fucking well, bro. Like, holy fucking shit on a fucking stick. And as I said, Roger L. Jackson, he just fucking sells it. And she's there with the knife, and then like that scene there, she's like, ah! Like, you know, just screaming and shit. And then she's just there like that, walking around and all that. And she's like, listen, you can't do this, I think I'll kill you. He's like, oh, well, why not? It's like, seriously, my boyfriend, like, my boyfriend's here any minute, could come here any minute, I'll call my boyfriend, and he plays football, he could come and beat the shit out of you. So Josh didn't have a boyfriend. Well, I lied, I do. He's strong, and he plays football, and he'll beat the fucking shit out of you and all this shit. And she's just there on the ground. He's like, his name wouldn't happen to be Steve, would it? And she's like, yeah, how'd you know his name and all that? And she's like, turn the porch lights on. And you get this brilliant shot. Turns on, she's like, oh, crazy, help me. She's like, ah, you know. And he's tied up, fucking blood everywhere. And he's like, oh shit. It's like, right, now, Steve. He's like, please don't hurt him. He's like, okay, first we're going to do is play a game. I want to play a game. So it's like, oh shit. Ghostface set up before Jigsaw or Billy the Puppet. I'm just saying. And he's like, oh, what is it? What is it? It's like, okay, we're going to do horror movie trivia. No, please, okay. It's going to be easy. No, please do it and all that. I have a question. You'll do it. Do it, get it right. Steve lives. Get it wrong. Steve dies. Cut his guts open. And it's just so disturbing. It's like, no. But it is just so well done. And just the build up and suspense and the music. She's there like, oh. It's like, okay, let's do it. Now it's like, okay. Here's the question. Who is the killer in Halloween? It's like, oh no. It's like, come on, it's your favorite movie. It's like, man, Michael Myers and all that. It's like, well done, you're doing great. Alright, next question. She's like, no more. It's like, no, you need to answer it or Steve dies. It's like, who is the killer in Friday the 13th? And I love this part. It's like, guy with the machete and all this stuff. It's like, it's Jason Voorhees. Is like, no, sorry, that's not true. Yes, it is true. It is him. I saw that movie 20 goddamn times and all that. It's like, then you should know his mother, Mrs. Voorhees. Jason didn't appear till the sequel. It's like, final question. I was like, what? Where am I in the house? And which part of the house am I in? And she's like, what? And it's just like, there's like, oh, sorry, Steve's not gonna live. It's like, what? It's like, Casey, no. It's like, don't open the door. It's like, don't open it. It's like, Casey, no, I'm coming out, opening it. And then fucking just fucking gets gutted. Steve dies. Like, Steve, no, you son of a bitch, no. It's like, where am I and all that stuff. And then eventually Ghostface just appears, like, you know, smashes the fucking window. She's running like, oh shit, running to the door like, oh god, you know, he's fucking running after her, and like, and she's like, stabbing her and fucking falling to the ground. And then it cuts back to the popcorn, the smoke zone. And she's like, no, she's throwing a knife at him and kicks him and he falls over. And she's like, and it's like, holy fucking shit, the suspense. Like, oh god. And she's running around. It's like, oh god. Opens up the door and he's like, and then it's just so fucking creepy because like he could pop out at any moment. He goes, and he's hitting her like, stabbing her. She runs out like, no, and all that. Runs outside. Sprinklers go off. Runs out. See the car driving. She's like, Daddy, and all that. And then literally gets fucking stabbed. Like, no. And as she's running, music builds up. Ghostface just goes, stabs her like, she falls in like, no. And then stabbing her, and then she just goes, takes the mask off, but it does this thing where it pans up and you don't see him, and he just stabs her and finishes her off. And then you have the parents going like, what's wrong? Where's Casey? Casey, where are you? And they're all, oh my god, call the cops, where are you? Casey, and all that, smoking. And then they walk outside and they're like, Casey. And then she drops the phone, and then it screams. and then you just see her hanging from a tree from her eternal organs, which is so fucking disturbing and fucked up. And actually, that kill was reenacted in real life, but I still don't believe that movies inspire real life murders. Anyway, then we get this zoom in shot, and then she goes ah, and it goes right up, and then it comes up scream. And I'm like, wow, what a fucking way to open a movie. Like, holy fucking shit. What a way to open up a movie. That is a cold opening, and it is a cold opening done right. All the Scream movies have this, they're all great, but this is the best one. It has the best of all of them. And you're just kind of like, holy fucking shit. Now, let's get into other scenes of the film. Getting into characters. First of all, look, Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott is amazing. It's going to be weird not seeing her in the new film, but she probably will be in it in the post-credit scene or some shit, or at the end of it. Yeah, it's going to be weird not having her in the new one, but she's great in this. She really is great in this movie. Fucking back is killing me, Jesus Christ. She is awesome in this one. And of course you got Billy, who is just the perfect villain, and you got Gail, who's a lovable bitch, which is weird. But yeah, so yeah, I love that. Where do you even start? Like, fuck me. Oh, back is fucking back is killing me. Holy shit. One sec.